of the lifetime warranty. Also a great pre-owned inventory and an excellent service department as well. Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. Family owned and operated. Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. Cleveland-Nissan.com. Exit 20 off I-75.
Hey, Andy Morris here. Join me along with my co-host on The Drive, presented by Hardees, weekdays at 5 p.m. on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Cleveland and Bradley County's local sports show, weekdays at 5 on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Welcome back to The Drive, Monday, June 2nd edition. Here with Jim Gum, I'm Andy Morris. Jacob's out of the building today, but we'll pick up the slack for him. Actually, let me rephrase that. I'm over here. Jim will tell you. I'm iced down. I'm shameless plug here. My friends over at C4 Sports Med over there taking care of me, getting me recovered. They wore me out today, so Jim's carrying the team today. Jacob out, and I came limping in here.
Well, I'll tell you what, your mobility's getting better. Every time I see you, you look a little bit better than you were the day before or last week for sure. But listen, they always say no pain, no gain. So obviously you know that whatever you're doing, you're in some pain. But long term, you're going to be just fine. What's the prognosis as far as how much longer do they think you're going to have to go through all this?
So they're going to keep me in PT for a couple more months for sure, just to continue building the strength back up. But for those of you that don't know, I had ACL reconstruction surgery. Basically, I've got a cadaver ACL in my knee now. It's pretty crazy. And then also took care of some other stuff that was going on in my knee, fixed my meniscus up a little bit, took out some bone spurs and scar tissue and things like that. So just trying to get back to somewhat normal. And hey, they worked me today though. I had to tell my therapist, great dude, awesome guy by the way, but I had to tell him, like, listen, I'm not training to make a comeback in anything. I just want to be healthy.
Yeah.
But they worked me. So today is the Jim Gum show is what I'm getting at. He's carrying the team today.
That's not the case. That's not the case. But man, we do have a lot to talk about today. Unfortunately, we've got a truncated show. We're only going 45 minutes because the Vols are playing an elimination game in Knoxville this afternoon at 6 o'clock against Wake Forest. So, yeah, it should be an exciting night up there in Knoxville, and let's see if the Vols can win it. But that's a tough team they're going up against with Wake Forest.
Yeah, and as Jim said, we're going to have that game right here at 6 o'clock, first pitch. I guess they're going to go have some commercials right after we go off at 5:45, do a little bit of a pregame with first pitch at 6 o'clock right here on ESPN Cleveland. The base Vols trying to stay alive and advance onto the Super Regional. And I tell you what, listen, just talking, we're going to dive into college baseball a little bit more. But over the weekend, we had some major upsets. It's crazy. You, Jacob, and myself, the picks that we made, we all were pretty much on the same page with a lot of them, and we felt like they were locks. But I know specifically some SEC teams that we were really high on. Like I know Kentucky was a sleeper team for me. They got eliminated. Vanderbilt, that's a huge one.
That was massive. I mean, everyone thought Vanderbilt.
I picked them to be my champ.
Yeah, so Louisville wins that one. You've got other SEC teams. Alabama, they've been eliminated. Mississippi State, Mississippi State, nobody really thought they would go that far. Florida, I thought the Gators I thought they were going to win that regional. Coastal Carolina, the number one seed, actually did win it. So that one is a little bit of a surprise. The big one was, other than Vanderbilt, was Texas. Everyone thought Texas. Well,
a lot of people thought they could win the whole thing.
Did win, but it's Texas San Antonio, not Texas Arlington.
The wrong UT.
The wrong UT. So, yeah, Texas gets eliminated. Yeah, Georgia, they got – man, did you see how they got eliminated? Walk-off homer against Oklahoma State.
That hurts.
Man, that was unbelievable. But actually, Duke ended up winning that regional. Let's see here. Kentucky, they did not – although they did eliminate Clemson, but West Virginia wins that one. And then you do have two of them that have advanced. Arkansas won their regional. By the way, the winner of the Tennessee Wake Forest game will play Arkansas in Fayetteville.
That's wild.
That's the Arkansas is going to be hosting that one, and then Auburn won theirs. So yeah, the SEC they do have 4 games today. Right now, Oklahoma's getting thumped by North Carolina 8-2 in the 6th inning. Later on today, you've got Oregon State, USC. You've got Miami versus Southern Miss. You got Ole Miss and Murray State. LSU and Little Rock. So you got 2 SEC teams there that probably will win, but then you got Tennessee and Wake Forest. So, yeah, you've got some really intriguing games today.
Yeah, and you talk about that Knoxville regional, and what you said it a second ago, it's an elimination game for the Vols and for the Demon Deacons.
Yep.
And you look at the game last night between those two, 7-6, Wake Forest with the win. That this is big time. This is what college baseball is about. I'm excited to listen to this game right here on ESPN. But obviously, hoping the Vols pull it off. Want to keep them alive in the NCAA tournament. But they're a team that a lot of people feels like can win this whole thing as well. But with the amount of upsets, I feel like even more so now. You mentioned they got to play Arkansas. Either one of those teams capable of cleaning house the rest of the way, in my opinion. Arkansas is a team that really feels like they're due. They've not won a national title, and they've been in the mix every single year, it seems like.
Yeah, listen, not a fan. I'm not an Arkansas fan, but I wouldn't mind seeing the Razorbacks win it all because, man, they have been so good for the last 4, 5, 6 years and have come up short each and every year, and maybe this is the year the Hogs get it done. But there's still a lot of good baseball teams out there. Listen, I think Florida State's really, we talked about them. That's a pretty good looking team there. Duke looks really good. UCLA looks good, but it's all about pitching, Andy. You getting this, it's 2 out of 3. You win 2 out of 3 at these super regionals. All it takes is a couple hot pitchers, man, and it doesn't matter how good you've been and how many home runs you've been hitting. You get one of these pitchers that's on, and he starts striking out guys and guys not getting a good piece of the ball, and it could be over with quickly. So, yeah, it's fun to watch all this stuff. But, no, it's a real exciting day in the SEC baseball right now.
Yeah, specifically for that potential Arkansas-Tennessee matchup. I hope the Vols take care of business because I want to see the best teams playing, and I feel like Tennessee and Arkansas is going to be big-time college baseball.
And there's no love lost between those two teams.
Not at all. Not at all.
The coaches don't like each other. The players definitely don't like each other. And the fans really don't like each other. So, yeah, it would make for interesting theater. Now, obviously, Arkansas is going to be the home team. And that's a tough place to go play, man.
It is.
So if the Vols are lucky enough to beat Wake Forest, they're going to go into a hornet's nest there in Fayetteville, man.
So help me out with this, Jim. If, let's say, Tennessee, Arkansas, winner of that series, they go on and they play West Virginia or the winner of LSU and Little Rock. Is that correct? Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got the bracket printed off right here if you want to look
Gotcha.
at it. But, yeah, you got a lot of scenarios out there. But, man, there's been so many upsets. This bracket doesn't look anything like I thought it would look when we came in today.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
I really thought I was going to look a lot different. But, man, that's why, we were talking off the air before we came on here. Reality TV is big. Everyone loves reality TV. Sports is the ultimate reality TV. And always has been and always will, but it's not scripted. Some of these other reality TV shows are slightly scripted.
Yeah.
Maybe massively scripted for all I know. Sports is unscripted, man, and that's what makes it so great.
Yeah, there's nothing more dramatic than the end of a tight ball game. It doesn't matter if you're talking baseball, basketball, football. When you got a tie score and the clock's ticking down or you're in the last inning, tell you what, man, drama doesn't get any better than that. What is the old slogan they used to say on NBA on TNT? We've got the drama or whatever,
right.
and they plug it in with their shows and stuff. Which that's something else we'll talk about later. Is NBA on TNT is no more.
Yep,
End of an era.
Yeah, and we're talking about drama. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about women's softball. The drama in yesterday's game between Tennessee and UCLA was crazy. For those of you that may not have seen it, UCLA hits a 2-run homer to tie the game at the very end. Okay, the girl hits a home run to tie it up at 4. She gets to the home plate and she does a crazy step get to the plate. Well, she misses home plate. Well, I mean, everyone saw it except she did. Obviously the girl that hit it
caught up in the moment.
She didn't realize she did. But then one of her teammates goes, "Hey, you missed home plate. You need to go back and touch it." That's fine and dandy, but it was the wrong girl that told her. The girl that told her was not legally allowed to say that to her. So what's the batter or the home run hitter? She goes back, touches the plate. Okay, everything's good. Then they review it for 13 minutes. And then they come back, Andy, and they say, "Oh, that's not reviewable."
Because they didn't want to make a call.
Well, they said it's in the rule book. It says that's not reviewable. The way it was done, the process that was done was not.
Well, they need to revisit the rule book.
Absolutely.
And they
It's
need to get
ridiculous.
rid of that rule. I don't care if it's a teammate on base, a teammate in the dugout, a teammate on deck. I don't care who it is. If a teammate says, "Hey, I saw this, you didn't do it," if the girl turns around and does it without getting tagged, who cares?
Yeah.
I know Tennessee fans aren't going to like that take in this situation
Right.
because it wouldn't have benefited them. But let's pretend that it was the Lady Vols that it was happening to. It doesn't. If she turns around and touches a plate, it is what it is. She hit a ding
She hit
dong
it off
ditch,
all
man.
over
It
the
is what
fence.
it is.
My thing is, I think the rule's wrong. Anyone should be able to tell her.
Yeah.
But the replay's wrong, too.
It should.
You should be able to replay
Yeah.
literally everything.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there should be a limited number of replays per game. But it should be reviewable. And also, it should be allowed for anyone can tell her.
Yes,
Why
absolutely.
does they have a rule of only these people can tell her? No, just anyone can tell her.
But listen, due justice was served. The Lady Vols did end up winning that game 5-4 over UCLA. That put UCLA out of the tournament. So Lady Vols playing, I believe, played earlier today. Unfortunately, they were eliminated by the Texas. Do they go by the Lady
Just
Longhorns?
Longhorns.
The
Just
Texas Longhorns.
Yeah.
2-0 tight ball game, and again another dramatic game, very low scoring, and Lady Vols just couldn't get it done against Texas. But that game against UCLA, a ton of opinions on that and controversy for
We've
sure.
got our opinions, and you may or may not agree with what we're saying out here, but I just think it should be anyone's allowed to tell her.
Yeah.
And replay should be able to look at it regardless of how the scenario comes down. I mean, it is what it is. But the Lady Vols did win yesterday, and they got eliminated today by the other UT.
It's a good run for the Lady Vols.
But there again, the Lady Vols softball is very reminiscent of Arkansas baseball. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Close but no cigar.
Close but no cigar. The Lady Vols have never won a national championship in softball. And when they had Monica Abbott, oh gosh, I guess it's 10 years ago, they should have won a national championship when they had her. She was the best pitcher in the country.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't get it done then, and they still can't get it done. They only had 3 hits today. So Texas really shut them down.
Sounds like the Braves you're talking about.
Oh, my gosh. We're going to get into that, too. But Texas is waiting on the winner of the Texas Tech-Oklahoma game. That's going to be played. And obviously, if Oklahoma wins, it'll be Oklahoma versus Texas again. Last year, they were wearing Big 12 patches on their jersey. This year, they're wearing SEC. It doesn't matter.
wild.
It doesn't matter what patches on your jersey. It's Texas and Oklahoma dominating ladies softball, man.
Yeah, good get for the SEC softball for sure with those two.
Oh, yeah.
And we're talking. I can't think of the young lady's name, but the girl for Oklahoma that hits the bombs. A lot of people refer to her as the Babe Ruth,
The Sultan of SWAT.
college softball. Yeah, she just hits dingers, man.
Yeah, Sultan Et. How about that? Sultan Et.
There
of
you go.
SWAT.
Is that politically correct? I don't know.
Probably not. Listen, I'm not aware of all the politically. Listen,
We don't keep up with that stuff here on the drive.
I got in trouble not too terribly long ago. The old nickname for little people. I didn't know it was against the rule to say that word.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you can't say that word. Well, I didn't get that memo. I said something about a little person. And I said I guess it's now considered a derogatory.
Yeah, I was not aware.
Starts with the letter M.
Well, I've got my youngest daughter. She's sweet little short thing, and I call her that. I didn't know. Maybe I should quit. I don't know.
I said something that I can't remember where I was, and someone said, "Oh, Jim, you can't say that." I'm like, "Say what?"
You know who probably
what?
you know who probably got that started on the negative side of things?
There's no telling.
Lee Corso. You remember when he did that on game day?
Yeah.
Yeah, the kid made his pick and he said, "Get out of here." That's pretty funny. Hey, listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. I would like to revisit college baseball a little bit because my mind is blown between Vanderbilt, Texas, Bama, Mississippi State, Georgia, Florida, Kentucky, all being eliminated.
You know what the reality is? He's wanting to avoid talking about the Braves.
Listen, it's frustrating.
It is frustrating.
When you lose. I believe it's like 8 of your last 11.
Oh my gosh,
it's not good. Not good down Atlanta. When we come back, we're going to talk some Atlanta Braves. NBA finals are set too. We're going to talk about that as well right here on The Drive.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's the Traded Man. This is John Davis at Kia Cleveland announcing our summer blockbuster blowout. You don't need to be a hero to pay zero. Zero down. Zero payments this summer. Plus, I need your trade, and I need it today. And I'm willing to overpay. Don't let the credit villains keep you from driving your dream car. At Kia Cleveland, getting approved is a possible mission. Our lenders will say yes to you and yes to your situation. Remember, I'll beat any deal from anywhere in Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama. Come see me, John Davis, your hero in the car business, at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where getting the best deal is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Looking for the dealer who's gonna give you more. Kia of Cleveland Superstore.
Example 25K4LX, 0 down, $349 per month for 72 months at 4.9% APR. Negative trade equity may be refinanced, subject to lender approval. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
KiaofCleveland.com.
Hardees is hiring. Join the Star Team. Flexible scheduling, daily pay, free meals, 20% family discount, plus paid vacation for part-time and full-time employees. Apply in-store or online at hardees.com today.
Hip or knee pain holding you back? There's a new reason to feel hopeful. Dr. Andrew Carlone is now part of the team at Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics in Cleveland. He brings advanced training in total hip and knee replacement, including minimally invasive techniques that get you back on your feet faster. Let Cleveland's orthopedic experts help you live your best life. Call 423-624-2696 or go to sportmed.com to book your visit now.
Is your home too hot in the summer and too cold in the winter? At Central Heat and Air, your local HVAC experts, we've got you covered. Our top-notch technicians provide fast, reliable service to keep your home comfortable year-round. From installation to maintenance, we handle it all. You'll never be left out in the cold or the heat. Call Central Heat and Air today at 423-478-7778. That's 423-478-7778. Or visit us online at docsair.com. That's DOCSAIR.com. Central Heat and Air, your healthy home company.
Cleveland Tire Center, locally owned and operated for over 45 years. Cleveland Tire, your one-stop auto care shop in Cleveland. North Lee Highway, where the name says it all. Since 1993, Check Into Cash has offered cash solutions to our customers. The application process is simple, and the lending decisions are quick. If you've been approved, you can leave our store with cash in hand. Our loan options are built to handle life's small emergencies. We offer reliable payday loans and line of credit options. Visit our website at checkintocash.com to learn more about your options, and when you're ready, drop by our conveniently located stores in the Chattanooga area, including Cleveland and Athens, to apply. We also offer various in-store financial services like check cashing, money orders, wire transfers, and even gift card buyback. Take the first step toward a bright financial future. We're here to help and aim to be your one-stop money shop. Not all consumers will qualify. Eligibility, rates, terms, and conditions apply. Rates, restrictions, and fees apply to store services. Please call or visit your local store for details.
Don Ledford Chevrolet and GMC in Cleveland is hosting its first annual Cruise In Car Show event on Friday, June 6 from 4 to 8 p.m. Bring in your own vintage, classic, and collectible cars for everyone to see and admire. We want you to show off your pride and joy. We'll have food, Kona Ice, and Cleveland's own Mix 104.1 and Oldies 99.1 will be broadcasting live. It's an event you don't want to miss. For further details, go online to donledford.com, our Facebook page, or call the dealership and ask for Kayla Ledford or Chris Cobb. See you there, Cleveland.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
You're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. Hey, when it comes to Mayfield Dairy Ice Cream, you'll never have a boring bite. Their limited edition ice creams, cherry chocolate chip and banana pudding, are inspired by traditional Southern recipes and seasonal favorites. Pick them up today at your local grocery store.
Again, Mayfield, huge sponsors for us here for the Atlanta Braves coverage that we do on The Drive. Very thankful for them. And guess what? You know what else Mayfield ice cream goes really good with, Jim?
What's that?
A trip to Lake Winnie.
I love it.
Listen,
I love Lake Winnie.
This time of year, talk about a place I still as an adult get so much enjoyment out of going to Lake Winnie, taking the kids, just the scenery and the food. I'm a big foodie, man. I love that kind of stuff. So always enjoy going down there. But part of our summer ticket giveaway this Friday, June 6th, I repeat, this Friday, we're giving away 2 tickets to Lake Winnie. All you got to do to win those 2 tickets, text into the Volunteer Ridapest text line at 423-749-1013. Once again, that's 423-749-1013. Text your name and Lake Winnie. All you got to do to win those 2 tickets, and we will announce the winner on Mix Mornings on Friday. So great ticket giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
You go down there and enjoy some Mayfield ice cream as well.
Absolutely. All right. The Braves.
No.
They give.
Don't do it, Jim.
2 out of 3. They lose 2 out of 3 to Boston, and this team is just so frustrating, Andy. I don't know if you saw. It was 3-1 after 1 inning. No score after that. Nobody scored. No, not Boston, not Atlanta.
Can I tell you something?
Unbelievable.
I was in attendance.
Of
yesterday's game, and talk about a frustrating game at the plate. You'd get guys on base. By the way, the Braves left 7 runners on base.
Right.
It's a continuing trend with the Braves, and on the heels of the bad news of A.J. Smith-Shawver, the torn UCL.
Oh, that's terrible.
He's out for the season.
Yep.
They're still trying to figure out which procedure. It is what it is. The guy's done. He's shut down for the year. He's not coming back this year, regardless of what procedure he has. It's when you're not having success and then you lose a guy who is contributing on the mound, it's frustrating. Braves are currently 27-31, 4th in the National League East, and luckily still only 9.5 games back. So they're not out of striking distance, but dropping into that 4th place slot, letting the Washington Nationals jump you in the division, it's frustrating. You've lost 8 of your last 11. People are starting to criticize manager Brian Snitker. I'm going to be up front here. I'm a Brian Snitker fan. I love the fact that he's been in the organization as long as he has. I love that grandfather mentality he manages with, very much like Bobby Cox. Mm-hmm. But something has to change.
Yeah, 40-plus years in the organization, and I know he's as frustrated as you are.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about that. You see the talent. You see the ability of these guys. And for whatever reason, Andy, these guys, it's like they go on a team-long slump, for a game. They go for 9 innings. They're like, or actually, last night it was 8 innings. The first inning, okay, it was like after that first inning, they just can't get that clutch hit. It's like there's something in their DNA that says you are not allowed to get a clutch hit, and it becomes contagious, man. This team is frustrating to watch. They're one of the top 3 or 4 rosters in the National League. I'm convinced that. No, I don't think they have a better roster than Philadelphia or Los Angeles. I think roster-wise, I think they're as good as the Giants.
But they can compete with Philadelphia and Los Angeles. You don't need to be a pushover for them.
Right, but they just, for whatever reason, these guys are all underperforming simultaneously, and that's bad, man. And I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I know that they're trying different things and maybe taking extra BP, maybe not taking any BP. I know they've got to be trying everything under the sun, but as a fan, I know it's so frustrating for you. I see the look in your eyes when you're talking about it. It's painful. And you know that as Braves, listen, let's be honest, Braves fans, for the most part, have really been spoiled over the last 5-6 years or so. And then this year,
in contention for the division every single year.
And then this year, you're thinking, okay, yeah, we started off 0-7. And we'll ride the ship. Then they got to 500 and they couldn't get over. Then they finally got over 500. We thought, okay, now is where it's all going to start. And ever since that time, Andy, they have been just nothing but mediocre to less than mediocre. They just can't seem to get things going.
So this is where, when we started this conversation, we started with Brian Snitker. He's taking a lot of scrutiny. A lot of writers, the X crowd on social media, they're gunning for him. I don't think that's your answer. You've got a first-year hitting coach, which I think you got to give the guy some time too. I'm one of these people. I like consistency. I like routine. Now, when things are going bad, then you revisit and you look at it. But you got to give this. Tim Hires is our hitting coach now. Guy's got a great resume. He's been successful everywhere he's been. Be patient. Let's see if he can work with these guys and get them out of it. To your point, it's a team slump at times.
Yeah.
The whole team goes cold. So Tim Hires, his job as a hitting coach. He needs to figure it out. It's year one. Give him time. Let's not go crazy and start firing people. That's what kind of sets the Braves organization apart from it. A lot of other organizations, they don't just fire people to say, hey, look, we're doing something. That drives me crazy. Give this guy some time. But at the same time, Snitker, as a manager, he doesn't want his head on the chopping block. He needs to say, Tim, something's got to change. Our approach has got to change.
Yeah, and the bad thing is when you watch them is that, when they're making those, when they've got the opportunity to come up with a clutch hit, they're either striking out or they're making routine plays. It's not like the other team is having to do something spectacular to get out of that inning. It's like a routine fly ball or a routine ground ball, or they're striking out. Of course, striking out, baseball is in a really weird time, man. There's so many strikeouts. You just watch an average Major League game. There's a ton of strikeouts on both teams. I guess because the pitching's so darn good.
Yeah.
But, man, it is frustrating.
This is one thing that gets me, and I saw this specifically yesterday. Again, I was at the game, and I feel like for the most part, it was a decently pitched game by Bryce Elder. His first start back, he gives up the 3-run homer early and allows a couple guys on, gives up the home run. After that, he settled in.
He did.
He ended up, I believe, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. That's not a bad day of work. It's really not. You're coming back from the minor leagues, but probably a little bit of adrenaline going early. He settled in and was fine. You're giving your team a chance to win a ball game. He did his job, as far as I'm concerned. Bullpen came in. They did their job.
Great.
We can't complain about Raciel Iglesias or the back end of the bullpen not doing what they're supposed to do. They did. The thing that frustrates me the most with the bats, and again, I'm a Sean Murphy guy. I like Sean Murphy. Maybe the fact that Drake Baldwin's been taken away, some at-bats from him. He feels like he needs to do too much. I don't know. But his approach, you've got runners on first and second. You've got a runner on another situation when Sean Murphy's up where you got a runner on second. You got guys in scoring position, and from pitch 1, pitch 2, you're trying to hit one over the home run deck instead of, hey, let's wait on a pitch. Let's drive it up the middle. Let's go opposite field and score a run. You can chip away when you do that. His approach frustrated me, and I love Sean Murphy. That's something that I feel like, hey, that's a guy, if you're Tim Hires, the hitting coach for the Braves, pull him aside and be like, listen, we need you to just hit one over the shortstop's head here. Just hit one up the middle.
I agree with you. And I see this not just a Braves issue. It's a Major League Baseball issue. Guys are swinging from their heels regardless of the situation. It's okay to maybe choke up an inch or so and just try to place the ball, put the ball in play.
Yeah.
Instead of swinging from your heels and striking out, or hitting a weak ground ball to the shortstop or whatever. It's not just a Braves issue. Andy, they've gotten to the point where it's either a clout or an out.
Yes.
That's what Major League Baseball has become, a clout or an out. And there's nothing in between, man.
Yeah, the Tony Gwynns of the world are non-existent, it seems like, at this point. But, again, the Braves dropped the series yesterday with the 3-1 loss to the Red Sox, despite that good pitching outing by Bryce Elder on his return from the minor leagues. But you got to give a ton of credit to the Red Sox. Garrett Crochet, he was elite, going 7 innings, only allowed 5 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts. Garrett Crochet was dealing yesterday. So not all Braves hitting, but it's consistent because it wasn't just yesterday. It's been, you look at the last 11 games, it's been all of them. Even games that you've won, you've had some issues scoring runs. Ozuna, home run yesterday, only offense for the Braves. Left a lot of guys 7 once again on base. So got to get that stuff figured out. Tonight, it's an off night. Let's reset. Talked to Dylan Lee before the game yesterday. Talk about a guy that's doing great in the bullpen. He went fishing today. He pitched 2 days in a row, had a side session yesterday. He's fishing today, so Dylan's going to be settled in, ready to come back out of the bullpen. It was exciting to be able to talk to him yesterday.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's a great story. But I tell you what, this Braves team, if I wasn't already bald, I would have lost my hair by now watching these guys pulling your hair out.
I'm catching up to you, man.
You got a ways to go before you catch up to this boy. But no, it is frustration city for the Atlanta Braves. But man, it could be worse, Andy. You could be a Rockies fan.
Oh my gosh,
9-50.
Yeah, at one point they were sitting at only 5 wins for a long stretch.
Yeah, but 9-50. They're on pace. Last year the White Sox lost 121 games. They're on pace to shatter that loss of record.
I remember Houston before they had the banging on trash can stuff, and when they were assembling those guys, Altuve, they were in the minors. The Astros were doing that purposely for draft picks. You can't really do that anymore now with the way MLB does the draft. You're not guaranteed the first overall pick to have a guy that can change an organization. But listen, the Colorado Rockies, they deserve the first 3 draft picks the way they're playing right now.
My sister lives in Colorado, and she's a Rockies fan. And I don't talk to my sister a ton, but, every time I do, it depends on what season it is. I say, hey, you've been watching Rockies? Hey, how about those Broncos? Stuff like that.
How about the Avalanche,
and
right?
She goes, Jim, I don't even want to talk about the Rockies. I'm like, I don't blame you.
She said, can we talk about something good?
I mean, it's terrible. 9-50.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unheard of.
That's bad. Yeah, once again, tonight the Braves are off. Tomorrow, back home in the A against the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are 28-31, fourth in the NL West. They're 8 games back. Similar situation. This is one of those series. Try to set yourself apart. That game, first pitch, 7:15. Spencer Strider back on the mound trying to get his first win. He's facing Zach Gallen, and that game will be on Mix 104.1, and I believe right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3 as well. I don't think we're going to have any unless Tennessee finds a way to work themselves into an elimination game tomorrow when there's no college baseball, right?
Tonight's the decider.
I know it.
Unless it got rained out.
That's why we keep getting kicked, though.
Unless it got rained out today, which that's not going to happen. They're going to get that game in today. So.
Yeah, once again, all Braves games are presented by Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. So, yeah, let's go ahead and move on from Braves. We got early sign-off today, 5:45. We're at 5:33, so we got some time to talk about some stuff. Jim, just real quick, let's talk some NBA. And I know I kind of wanted to go back to some College World Series stuff. I feel like we can move on from that. We've talked about how terrible our picks were with that. But NBA Finals are set. Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Indiana Pacers. Game 1 is going to be Thursday at 8:30. That game will be on TV on ABC and right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
Yeah, you're not going to see it on TNT, that's for sure. You know, they finished their little gig last night, but
that was sad. Listen, Ernie had me kind of getting misty-eyed watching him talk.
I missed that.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was a good sign-off.
But I guess there's a reason why they wait until Thursday to get this thing going. I don't know why they couldn't get it going maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. But hey, look, the NHL is starting on Wednesday. I guess they want to avoid that. But I still think Oklahoma City, man, is going to win this series. But Indiana's made a believer out of me. This team's
That's
better
a hungry
than I thought.
team.
This team's better than I thought. I thought it was fluky that they beat Cleveland, and I thought they'd get. I didn't think they'd go to the finals. I'll just put it like that.
They're hungry.
But
They're
they're
a team.
really good. They're really good. They're well coached, and they've got a lot of really good players out there.
They're one of those teams. They're a team of destiny. It feels like they feel like hey, it's our turn.
No,
finally.
I got to ask you this. Okay, you said they're a team of destiny. Who are you rooting for? Now, first off, who do you think's going to win? But who do you want to win?
I think the favorite is Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got the MVP. You got a team that's been consistent all year long.
SGA.
And I never was a Reggie Miller fan. I never was. So,
not many people were.
So, and part of me still, I didn't like the Pacers then, but I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it, and now that you ask me, I kind of think I do want the Pacers to win because it would be an upset. It would be fun.
I think Oklahoma City is going to win, and I'm rooting for Oklahoma City, and I'll tell you why. And nothing against Indianapolis and Indiana, nothing against them.
It's a basketball state, man.
Is that team was so primed to win a championship 10, 15 years ago when they had all those stars there, Kevin Garnett, Kevin Durant. They had all those other players that were there, and they got, they got to the Western Conference Finals, and then they leave. They go elsewhere. And I'm like, had they stayed together, I'm convinced.
Wasn't it Westbrook, Durant,
and
they were loaded.
Yeah. I thought for sure that team was going to win at least one NBA title, if not more than one. And, man, those fans, they had to be so just devastated when they saw their stars leaving, and I blamed it on the management that they should have paid up and kept these guys.
I guess that was about 10 years ago, right? That's wild.
But Durant left, and he was the key to me. Durant goes to Golden State, helps them win another championship there, and of course Westbrook leaves, and everyone left. So that team went from the penthouse to the outhouse, and now they're back to the penthouse. It's taken a while, but that fan base, I think, deserves it. I think Indiana deserves it too. You got two teams that have never won the NBA championship, so we're going to have a first-time Larry O'Brien Trophy winning team. So I'm excited. I hope it goes 7 games. I hope it goes 7 games.
I think if it goes 7, that's the only chance for the Pacers to win the series. If it goes 7 games. I think if it's anything shorter, it's all OKC.
You think so?
Yeah.
But we'll see. It should be exciting. It should be fun. But it is here, the NBA Finals. And like I said, a lot of people are saying, "Oh man, who's going to watch the finals?" It's Little Market Indianapolis versus Little Market.
I think I'm going to.
I'm going to probably watch it. I don't care. Listen, I'm not into it's got to be New York and Los Angeles or Boston to have any interest. I just want to see good basketball. I don't care where the arenas are located. I
don't think that there's a New York team that I've ever rooted for. So I was glad to see the Knicks get eliminated. I've never been a New York guy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if
maybe the Giants when Eli was there, a couple games here and there, but consistently.
I guess I've always sort of liked the Yankees a little bit, but I've never openly rooted for them. There's been times when the Yankees were playing the Dodgers last year. Who are you pulling for?
I was pulling for the Yankees.
Same here. So basically, it's the least of the two evils out there.
Yeah.
So there's been a few times when I'm like, yeah, I'd like the Yankees only because the team they're playing. I just dislike. Like when they were playing the Astros after all that stuff. Go Yankees.
Yes.
Yes. I just thought the Yankees got the shaft.
Yeah.
But they really
good
did.
save there. Good save. Hey, listen. So I'm actually a big Aaron Judge fan. I think Aaron Judge is not only a great baseball player. I think he's a great man. I think he's a great person. That's something that now as an adult, that when I was a kid, you didn't pay too much attention to that kind of stuff. You just whoever was good was cool.
Yeah.
Like that's who you're kind of rolling with. But seeing the way he carries himself as a leader of that team on and off the field, it's for years I associated the Yankees with 96 and 99, beating the Braves, and it just broke my heart as a kid. And now sometimes I have to sit back and say, well, that regime is gone. Joe Torre's not the manager anymore. The Big Four, they're out of there. Like, this is a different group of guys. I still don't like the way. Now, I kind of contradict myself on this. I like the no salary cap in baseball. I don't ever want it to change because that makes baseball unique. But at the same time, nothing infuriates me more than seeing the Yankees or the Dodgers stack their team. The Dodgers have, 3-4 MVP winners on their team right now.
Yeah, they do.
That's frustrating to me. That's not an equal playing field, but at the same time, I'm sitting here saying I don't want a salary cap.
I do, and it'll never happen. Okay, it'll never happen. Football has, every other sport has it, but except for baseball, and that's why you have the stacked teams. When you look at the Kansas City Royals, the Cincinnati Reds, Pittsburgh Pirates, look at their roster, look at their payroll. That's like second and third base for the Yankees or Dodgers. Their entire payroll is the same as those two guys. It's so lopsided. That's why you see these small markets. That's why I'm convinced L.A. De La Cruz will eventually be a Dodger or a Yankee.
Yes.
I'm convinced of that. The Reds cannot pay this guy.
And you could probably mix in the Boston Red Sox in that category when they feel like spending the money, and the
Mets,
Phillies.
The Mets and Cubs also. There's a few other teams, but obviously the Dodgers and Yankees are a little bit over everyone else. But the Reds, the Pirates, the Royals, franchises like that, they cannot compete with the Los Angeleses and the New Yorks of the world.
That's what made the movie Moneyball great.
Yeah.
Those early Billy Bean A's teams in the early 2000s were good because they were constructed brilliantly on a very low budget.
Yep.
So,
but they didn't win a championship.
They didn't. Again, the theme of today's show is close but no cigar.
That's right. Yeah,
definitely is.
A bridesmaid, not a bride. So that's the Lady Vols softball. That's the Arkansas Razorback baseball. The Razorbacks are still alive to maybe get that monkey off their back, but unfortunately for the Lady Vols, they still have never been a champion. They're not going to win it this year either. So.
Yeah, and they always put out a good product up there in Knoxville with Lady Vol softball. So, unfortunately, their season did come to an end today with a 2-0 loss to the Texas Lady Longhorns. I'm calling them the Lady Longhorns.
Well, it's so funny because, the Lady Vols are Lady Vols. Most colleges don't do the Lady whatever. The Bradley High School, that's really old school Bearettes. You used to see that all the time. I remember when the Cleveland High School, they were the Raiderettes. Now they're Lady Raiders and whatever. But most colleges, most of them, the women's teams are the same as the men's team, unless it's a male-sounding, name. Yeah,
you've got me thinking.
Like the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, I think they call the basketball the Lady Texters. I think that's unique,
So what? We've got a Alabama fan in the building with us today, our boy Gavin. Does the Alabama Crimson Tide, are the women's teams also the Crimson Tide? I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
That is a great question. I don't know what they would call.
Listen, he's a football guy. Okay,
that is
there
true.
You go.
Yeah,
but Gavin
what
is.
Would they call them? The Lady Tide, like.
Maybe they do.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's a good question.
But most colleges don't. Most colleges use the same moniker or same nickname for men's and women's sports. Tennessee's unique in that. Tennessee's always been the Lady Vols. They always will be.
Yeah. You're a Bama guy too.
Yeah, I am.
So are Bama fans struggling with the lady sports over there, or what? Do we need to file it with Title IX or something? Like, come on, guys.
Probably. I've really seen them in many championships or actually like tournaments towards the championships, the lady side. So I don't know what's going on there. I mean, I know their basketball has been downhill, and I know. I mean, that's probably all I watch. Their softball downhill as well. I don't know what's going on.
They show up for football season.
Yeah, that's it.
A decent basketball season too.
And listen, if you're gonna be a one sport guy, football is the sport to be. That's the sport everyone strives to be number one. You know that.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and just say it for the Bama fans and Gavin, because I joke around with Gavin. I tell him, you're the only person I say this for, but Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
It's the only time I ever say it. But definitely not an Alabama fan over here. But, yeah, going back to that Pacers OKC championship, I really it's going to be a great milestone for either one of those teams just because they've not been there. I mean, you're going to see a new champ.
I don't know if you know this. The Indiana Pacers began their franchise history in the old ABA.
Wow.
They were an ABA franchise. You had 4 teams that were absorbed. You had the, let's see if I can get this right. You had the Pacers. You had the San Antonio Spurs, the Denver Nuggets, and New Jersey Nets.
Okay.
Yeah. Dr. J played for the Nets, and he was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. But those 4 teams in 1976 were absorbed into the NBA.
Not the Flint Tropics, those of you that have seen semi-pro.
Nope. Well, man, I guess it's about time to go watch the Vols play some baseball, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt. So hopefully the Tennessee base Vols can get it done tonight as they are taking on, help me out here, Jim.
Taking on Wake Forest.
Yeah, Wake Forest, that's right.
Yeah.
Elimination game. I'm all over the place with my notes here. But, yeah, taking on Wake Forest right here on ESPN Cleveland. 6 o'clock first pitch against the Demon Deacons. Tight ball game last night. Wake Forest got the best of the Vols. I don't think they're going to do it again.
I think the Vols go on and they play Arkansas, but I think they're in trouble once they go to Arkansas.
Uh-oh, Jim's calling out you Vol fans.
Just saying.
Listen, I hope the Vols win so we can have that series. That's going to be must-watch college baseball, must-listen to college baseball right here on ESPN Cleveland 103. So, Jim, appreciate you carrying me today. I'm going to limp out of here, and very fitting for a Monday.
Absolutely.
So, appreciate you guys tuning in. We will be back right here tomorrow. Also, hey, we're going to have a special guest tomorrow. Gary Ownby's going to be back on.
Basketball camp coming
with the
up
Scott family.
Real soon. That's right. We can't wait for that.
No doubt. You've been listening to The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
Cleveland Tire Center for over 45 years with the best name in tires: Bridgestone, Firestone, Goodyear, and Michelin. Northley Highway, Cleveland. Cleveland Tire Center, where the name says it all. Not all composite decking is the same. Enjoy life's